Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you with us. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, go ahead and give this channel a subscription. Give the video a like and leave your comments in the comments section. And you can follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on?
Bud. Not much, man. Filling up the coffee again. Getting through the second cup of coffee already. Got my cold coffee.
Can't go wrong with some cold coffee.
I don't have cold coffee. That's just it's just an internet meme thing. Remember the lady when they were shutting down the Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah.
Man, people love their Dunkin' Donuts. Gotta get my cold coffee. I don't like cold coffee. I like hot coffee. I actually like lukewarm coffee that I can chug. That's my favorite.
Ooh.
That's why I use the Core Power.
Yeah.
So take my Core Power, pour a little bit of that in there, then pour the coffee in over the top of it, lowers the temperature a little bit. I can just chug it. Just get after it this morning.
Yeah, so, I'm not a lukewarm coffee. I'm probably more hot, not steaming hot, but more hot. What I do is I drink straight black coffee, and I'll put like one ice cube into it just to take the real hotness off it.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of what I'm talking about. I say lukewarm, but I just mean not scalding hot. So, yeah. Ready to go this morning. Ready for a fun week. Ready for a fun week let's say it. Ready for a fun week of fuck-ups. Because we're going to have some fun stuff with our Fiscus giveaway here, right?
Oh, we got lots of good stuff that came in. And we were going to have people call in, but we got so many. And there's still so many. And you can still get in on this. But I'm going to go ahead and read some of these later on in the show when we have a little bit more time. And because there's some funny ones here. There's some guys who, well, they messed up, Ross. I mean, they messed up. They messed up big time. Big time.
Yeah. Rob is asked on the chat already this morning. Rob was the guy that was going fishing on 12 Mile last weekend, and he asked how I did on Friday. He didn't get to hear us Saturday night after the Black and Gold Rush. At the end of the Black and Gold Rush, we kind of touched on it. Yesterday, we had a fish fry and fed fresh perch to, probably 50-plus people. Fantastic. And how do we feed 50-plus people with fresh perch, Rob? We caught well over 100 on Friday. We slayed. You'll never hear me say another bad word about bobber fishing ever again in my life. When we got out on the boat, the guys were even like, hey, we heard you this morning kind of bashing bobber fishing. And I was like, yeah? And they're like, yeah, we're probably going to throw the slip bobbers on them today. I was like, oh, okay. Well, if that's what we're going to do. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God. My buddy Bentz, it's funny because yesterday we get to the fish fry and people are like, Ross, thank you and Adam so much for doing this. And I had to tell a lot of people the story of bacon and eggs. You know the story of bacon and eggs.
I don't. What's the story of bacon and eggs?
Eggs is a one-day commitment. It's a 1 day's work for the chicken. It's a lifetime commitment for the pig. Okay? The story of bacon and eggs applies to fishing when Adam has the boat. Adam found the spot. Adam did the research on where the fish were going to be. Adam took us all down there, and then I show up, get on the boat, catch the fish, and people are like, hey, way to go, Ross. I go, no. Bacon. Bacon, eggs. I did 1 day of work. Adam's put a lifetime of commitment into doing that. Greatest day of Iowa fishing I've ever had in my life. It was absolutely incredible. And met a couple of new friends. Well, I've known Zach a couple times. Got to meet Nick for the first time and hang out with him. Nick brought his live scope, so I've never been able to play with one of those before. I've never been on a boat with one
I was just going to ask you what a live scope. I was going to ask you if you had like a sonar to where you could just see like pools of fish. And was it like a snow globe? You throw it up and like there's just fish all around?
Okay, yes and no. I've never seen a live scope before, so we did not catch these fish by using the live scope. Getting out, we went to our first spot, and Nick was able to see that there was some walleye along the bottom of the lake. And we were trying to kind of, bottom bounce some jigs to see if we could catch one of those walleye. That didn't work. So we went to another spot that Adam wanted to go to that he thought that we'd find some perch. Nothing showed up on the live scope, and I'm not even sure that Nick ever even used the live scope on the spot that we spent about 3 hours and we caught all the fish. Caught 100 perch in about 3 hours in one spot. And but the live scope didn't, I don't even know that it was in the water for much time during that. Where the live scope was kind of neat to see was when we got done with that, we went to a little crappie pile, and you could see the crappie, but we couldn't catch them. We were dropping things right in front of them and couldn't catch any crappie. So it was a weird combination of all of it, where we got to see the live scope, got to see what that looks like, but did not actually use it to catch any fish. The perch pile that we found, we happened to run into. I did catch the first one not using a bobber, but we caught 80 of them using slip bobbers.
So I didn't know that. What is there a difference between a regular bobber and a slip bobber? Okay, because because the bobbers I think about, Ross. I mean, when I was growing up and I attempted to fish and you put a bobber on the line, it was just a little ball that was half white, half red, right? That was it.
Yeah. So a slip bobber is for fishing a little bit deeper. So you got to think of it with a bobber. You can't pull a bobber through the eyelet of the top eyelet of your rod, right? So with a slip bobber, what that allows it to do is allows the bobber to literally slip down the line all the way to the hook or find your right depth. We were fishing in about 10, 12 feet of water, so we were fishing about 8, 9 feet deep. And so there's this little thing you tie on the line. It's like a little knot, and then the bobber can go all the way to that knot. So that way, once you cast out, your bait drops down and the bobber stays on the water until it hits that knot, and then it suspends your bait in the water. So it just helps you fish at depth with that. So not traditional bobber fishing with the red and white bobber, but
so I got another question. Because this is putting me in a good mood just to listen to you and seeing your excitement about fishing. So did you know you were going to go for perch and crappie, or were you thinking, hey, we're going to get to bass? I mean, did you know what kind of fish you were going after?
Bency specifically wanted to go catch perch.
Okay.
And that was what we found. And yeah. So Johnny just wrote, growing up on the Des Moines River, I was always told perch are not edible. Johnny, somebody lied to you. Because they are absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Walleye, crappie, perch are probably the 3 best tasting fish. I love northern. If you can get them, if you can get them done right, northern are fantastic as well. but it was awesome. Dude said we caught so many fish we threw off the biology of the lake. No, I mean, for the most part, taking fish out, we pulled 84 fish out of that lake, a huge lake. There were 50 other boats out there catching crappie that day, and most of them were slaying because they were staying on the same spots, just crushing. Sometimes it's actually healthy for a lake like that to take those fish out of there. It helps the ones that are left grow bigger and have a better winter. So that's what we're telling ourselves, at least, that we helped out by doing it.
You said there was 50 other boats on the lake.
Yeah,
it's that big of a lake, or are
Yeah.
we just talking small fishing boats?
Well, small fishing. I mean, when you say small, boy, for Iowa, fishing boats are fishing boats. I mean, you've got $80,000 fishing boats and you got $2,000 fishing boats, but for the most part, for size, you're talking about 16 to 20 foot boats. 20 is a pretty big boat. So they're all very similar in size. I mean, what you see driving down the road on a trailer in Iowa, in the Midwest, and 50 there were north of 30. And they were all stacked up on the west side of the lake. There's kind of a crappie shelf there. And they were stacked up there. Adam didn't want to do that. We found a rock pile on the east side of the lake, and that's where the perch happened to be sitting. So,
well,
awesome.
congratulations on a great day.
It was the best day of Iowa fishing I've ever had in my life. So busy, like I told you on Saturday, it was literally so busy I couldn't crack a beer. I tried it. My buddy Dusty sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, how's the fishing?" And I was like, "Man, I'm just going to send him a video because we're catching fish so fast." At one point, we all four had a fish in the boat at the same time. We hit a grand slam. And I'm trying to do a video of it, and I literally hit video, and I pull up my video, and my bobber goes down. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm hooked up." It was fun. It was a great time.
I just had this vision of the four of you standing in a slot machine in Vegas, and it's just the fish are coming out of the slot machine so fast that you're just throwing them into the boat.
I mean, dude, twice I flipped a perch into the boat. We kept the live well open. We kept the top of the live well open. We were catching fish that fast. And twice I flipped a perch into the boat. It would unhook and flop into the live well. It was like hands-free fishing. You just flip them up. Oh, there you went in the live well. Okay, minnow back on. We ran out of minnows. I've never been on a boat where we were like, we're running out of minnows.
So when you run out of bait, you just say, just put the hook in and see what happens.
We threw some worms in. We threw some plastics at them. We tried other things. It was a great day.
I love it when you have a great day fishing because you're always in a great mood. I love it when Ross has a great day fishing. That's your happy place.
It is. I'm addicted to the tug, man. It is. The tug is the drug, and it was a fun day of tugging. We couldn't.
I could make a really good comment, but I'm just going to hold back. I'm gonna self-edit.
I did that on purpose. I put it on a tee for you there.
Yeah, I'm going to back off.
We literally, at one point, Zach was trying to Google what the bag limits were because we thought it was 25 per guy that we could pull in 100 if we needed. We were so quick with it. The fishing action was so hot that Zach had a hard time getting the answer. He literally was like, "Hey, Google, what's the bag? Oh, fish. Hey, Google, what's the bag limit for perch? Oh, fish. Hey, Google, in Iowa, how many perch can one? Oh, fish." I'd be like 20 minutes later, be like, "Did we ever find out what the bag limit is?" The live well's getting full. It was a fun day. And then we went home Friday night, and we dropped Nick off down in St. Charles, and so Zach and Bency and I just set up a little cleaning station. Zach was filleting them. Bency was taking the ribs out. I was taking the skin off, and we had it done in it took. I remember thinking, like, this is going to take us 2 hours to clean all these fish. It was like 30, 45 minutes, something like that. We were flying through them. It was great. And then yesterday, that's the best part, when you get to feed people, and they're like, "Oh, my God, it's so good." Yeah. And then they go, "Thanks a lot, Ross. Bacon and eggs." Bacon and eggs, everybody.
And then you had a great day on Friday. Then we hooked up on Saturday for the Black and Gold Rush. We watched Iowa blow a 14-point lead to USC. And, we put this off as long as we could. We waited 13 minutes to bring up the game. It was the immediate reaction on Saturday. You've had a day to reflect. You've had a day to think. Has your feeling changed anymore from Saturday?
I mean, maybe not as sharp. Maybe it's softened a little bit in that I'm not. But yeah, very disappointed in Saturday. I mean, I don't know what else to take away from that. That you had a 14-point lead. There's disappointment in two ways. I think that we talked about this a lot on Saturday. So give me just a moment here. I feel like the disappointment kind of compounds the more you think about it. Because in the moment, you dropped a 14-point lead and you lost to USC in a game that you felt like you had in hand at one point. It's been 5 years since a Hawkeye team has blown a 14-point lead. That's disappointing. The disappointment of this season where, man, a week ago you're points away from Oregon and you're points away from Indiana and you're a field goal away from a last-second field goal away from beating Iowa State. And you think, man, we're really good. This Hawkeye team is real. It's hard to walk away with 4 losses in the season, and it's still 2 games left, by the way. It's hard to walk away from a 4-loss season and say, yeah, this is a really good football team. Yeah, they are. They're really good. They're not great. And I want to be great. I want the Hawkeyes to be great. And there were times this year when I thought the Hawkeyes were great. And so I think that it's just one of those things, Travis, that you let your hope get up. We had a really wonderful conversation about hope the other day. We had a really great caller, Pat, who called in and said, man, hope is what makes sports fun. And this Hawkeye team gives us hope. And they gave us hope throughout the year here that things could happen. That you beat Penn State and all of a sudden you go, man, what if? What if you play with Oregon? What if you beat USC? Then that's that hope. And that hope got crushed. So that sucks. I mean, Travis, it is really easy to look back on this season and see we're talking about 4 plays. I mean, it's a couple of points in every game, but you could break down each one of these games into a play and say, man, if defense could have made a play, if the offense could have made a play, if you get a guy that stays in bounds, if you get, like 2 of those games are different games with an inch. One of them on a 2-point conversion, if Weegen's foot is just in bounds and his toe doesn't hit the white edge of that line, who knows what happens? And then all of a sudden we're having completely different conversations about this team. So it sucks, man. We for 2 weeks in a row we had this conversation about like why not us? How come we can't have good things? What's in it for us? The old Ray Kinsella line from Field of Dreams. What's in it for us? And what's in it for us, we're learning, is the ride. It's the hope. It is the up and down of being a Hawkeye fan, and quite frankly, you could throw Cyclone fans into this as well. That's that up and down of being a sports fan in the state of Iowa. I spent a lot of yesterday playing that what if, right? And then I had to talk myself off a ledge saying, well, woulda, coulda, shoulda is in what if is fine, and you can justify things in your head to make you feel better, but the what if never happened, right? It never happened against USC. It never happened against Oregon. It never happened against Indiana. It never happened against Iowa State. So therefore you go, okay, you can play what if, and yeah, you can say you're close, but close only gets you so far. Close gets you heartache. It doesn't get you satisfaction. And that's where my brain is. And I started thinking there's 2 games left. You got Michigan State this weekend. Then you go to Nebraska. And, I started just assessing how I would look at this season. I'm never going to call it a great season. Even though you were close, I'm not going to call this a great season. No, this is not a great season. Been a good season. Been a good year. Beat Penn State, end up with it, but it's not a great season.
I would call it a good season, Ross, if they beat Nebraska and Michigan State. I'll call it an okay season if they finish with 7 wins, right? It's going from okay, good, it can't be great anymore. But if you want it to be a good season, you have to win out. If you don't beat Nebraska, it's an okay season.
I don't even want to think about losing one of these last 2. I mean, honestly, that my hope is still alive at that point. My hope is still at that level, is what I should say, is that Iowa's better than Michigan State and Nebraska. I've watched these two teams throughout the year. Iowa's better than both of these teams. You cannot lose on Saturday at home. That'd be a real gut punch, kick in the jibs, as we've said a lot this year. That'd be a real kick in the jibs. Nebraska, at Nebraska, that's a rivalry game. I'm starting to move that a little closer to like that Iowa State level of weird things can happen. We've gone into that game expecting one thing and seen a completely different thing, but I think Iowa wins that game. And I, again, man, I'm a Hawkeye fan, and part of being a Hawkeye fan, or part of being a Cyclone fan, or part of being a fan, is that hope. And as you get closer to the game, and you kind of forget about the stuff that happened, and you're looking forward, I will be really excited about the Hawkeyes playing Michigan State on Saturday and kicking their ass. And then I'll get really excited about a Black Friday matchup with Nebraska, so we can kick their ass. But I'm also smart enough to know, what are we really playing for at this point? What are Hawkeye fans hoping for? What's the biggest fish in the lake right now? It's an exhibition game. It's a postseason where you get to go to. Somebody wrote to me the other day and said, "Great, we get to play at Yankee Stadium." And that's. There's a conversation to be had about the exhibitions that are bowl games. Is there an advantage to them? Yeah, you get another month together and you get to. But man, you have to have a bad season not to qualify for that now. You have to have a bad season, not okay, certainly not good. You have to have a bad season to not qualify for one of these pointless exhibition games that happen at the end of the year, where a lot of the players that have a future don't even want to play in them. So frustrated, dude. Frustrated to watch the Hawkeyes be that close and still, oh so close yet oh so far away, it feels like.
I did my Doc Talk podcast with Dr. Rob yesterday, and we went into this exact conversation about bowl games, right? What do they really mean? And Dr. Rob tried to justify it like a lot of people do. No, you don't understand. It's more playing time or more practice time. It's development. I go, okay, where we're at now, it just seems like people are practicing year-round anyway. Soon as you get...
Travis. Amen. It's technically the coaches can't. Shut up.
Exactly.
These guys are together. And then when a guy like... for a couple years, it's been like, the Hawkeyes are way behind because their quarterback wasn't on campus in April. That's how, I'm with you. The guy, they're practicing year round. This ridiculous thing of like, maybe it's actually good for guys to get a little break from time to time and get a month off and not have to think about how bad they suck. And it's always been a backward system to me anyway. It's like, if you suck, then you don't get to practice. What? Don't think that those teams aren't getting together and aren't having workouts and aren't doing all the things.
And our cynicism and our criticism of the bowl games come from this. And so I did a quick AI search while we were recording yesterday. And again, it's AI, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it's got to be fairly close, right? Ross, in 1975, how many bowl games were there?
20.
11. In 1980, how many bowl games were there?
Okay, so go through this again. 1975, you said. There were how many?
11. In 1980?
By that point, there's 20.
15. Last year, how many bowl games do you think there were?
Way more than 20.
47.
See,
and that's where we talk about the watered downness of the bowls. 47 bowl games last year. So in 1975 you have 11. In 1980 you have 15. And that's really, think about our brains when we were Hawkeye fans. When they went to the Peach Bowl, when they went to the Rose Bowl back in the early 80s, making a bowl game was a very, very big deal. You had to have 8 wins, 9 wins. That was a true reward. You didn't have to have 6 wins. Now they take teams with losing records because there's not enough teams to fill the allotment of bowl games. That's where we go to these and go, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I would rather see a 26, 28 team playoff, get rid of all the bowl games, and then you say, if you didn't make the playoff, you get a practice until the college football season's over. If you want that extra practice time, go ahead.
And that's the thing. The extra practice time, you nailed it, Travis. That's not a thing anymore. That's not a thing. None of these guys care about those rules. And to think that the teams that don't make the bowls just say, oh, okay, guys, well, NCAA says we can't get together. You know those coaches get together and go, you guys need to get your asses in the locker room tomorrow. I can't be there. We'll get in trouble if I'm there, but every one of these coaches is going to be there. Or we've got this other group of coaches that aren't actually on any sort of website. Because we both know that's existed for a long time as well. The coach that is an analyst or something like that, and when a kid comes on campus for a recruit visit, oh, he just happens to be wearing gym shorts and have a ball in his hand. Well, it's not our fault if you walk into open gym and play a little ball with one of the with some guy on campus. That happened. That happens. Don't think it doesn't. So that the thing of the additional practice, I'm glad you brought that up because we probably could have pushed back a little bit on Saturday with that as well, of saying no, that's a lie. That's a lie. It's totally a lie. These guys are practicing year round, supposed to be, not supposed to be, spring practice. They're together year round, and so there is no additional benefit to making the bowl game. Besides, you get to go someplace on vacation and play in an exhibition game that most of the guys that have something that have a carrot at the end of that stick are not playing in. When players first started opting out, I remember saying like, oh, this is going to be a very small percentage of players because it's only going to be the guys that are guaranteed to get drafted, the guys that know they're not coming back next year. If you're a senior and you're not getting drafted, the bowl games really would mean something. It's your last chance to put the uniform on and do that. Now we see lots of guys backing out of them, opting out.
Opting out. And that could be for transfer portal reasons. That could be for NFL reasons, a lot of different reasons to back out. Now, they believe that moving the transfer portal window will change that a little bit and keep guys opt in. I don't know. I think if you know you're gone, you're going to be like, why would I want to risk an injury in a bowl game if I'm going to hop in the transfer portal in about 2 weeks?
This is a great comment. Maybe this is a part of it. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Oh, dude, that went fast.
It did. Well, hold on to that thought. We'll continue the thought.
We'll come back with this, okay? Because is part of our feeling today the fact, because Mark Gronowski, this was a one and done.
One and done.
Is that, I mean, Chris says 8-4 would be a great season if we knew Gronowski was coming back. If he was a sophomore, we'd be excited about 8-4.
Maybe.
I think there's some truth to that.
Probably because you go, okay, he can learn, and there's something to look forward to. Yes, but he's a senior. He's the all-time winningest quarterback in NCAA history. Now, I know a lot of that was at the FCS level, but you look at all the close losses, it won't be a great season. 8-4 is a good season. 7-5, it's okay. It's just okay.
I'm too cynical because even when you say I hate that line. He's the winningest quarterback in NCAA history. I understand that to be technically true. Come on.
Hey, don't forget to pump it up with Unleaded 88. It's grown by corn farmers right here in the state of Iowa. So pump it up with Unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org to learn more. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity, and this month we invite you to join us on our Once in a Wintertime sales event. Fall into savings this month by leasing an all-new 2026 QX60 Lux for as low as $799 a month for 24 months with just $5,000 down. Also take advantage of the 2.9% rate that Infinity is offering on both 2026 QX60 and QX80, and an additional $3,000 off of the new 2026 QX80. For more information, come say hi in our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
Get ready for a gemtastic day at Fiscus Jewelers. Join us Saturday, November 22nd from 9 to 3 for a gem trunk show you won't want to miss. It's the perfect time to pick up your favorite gemstone and create a custom piece for the holidays. Plus, take $250 off a custom design for this day only. We'll have fun giveaways throughout the day. So if you're looking for that perfect gem, we've got you covered. It's a gemtastic show like no other. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Get ready to experience the magic of the holiday season. The Coca-Cola Holiday Caravan is rolling into central Iowa, bringing thousands of sparkling lights, festive cheer, and unforgettable holiday moments. Since 1997, the iconic caravan has been a beloved tradition across the United States, and now it's Iowa's turn to share the joy. It's going to be in town November 26th through December 1st, so make sure to check out the Coca-Cola Holiday Caravan. You ended that first break on on something you were going to pontificate about even more, and I forget what it was. We were talking about the bowl game. Gronowski, yes.
I mean,
keep going.
Keep going on.
Well,
I mean, I think that Chris's point. This is like
keep going.
This is like when somebody asks a question. Can you talk about such and such?
That's fair. That's fair.
Sure.
Keep going.
Keep going on the point that Chris was making, that if Gronowski weren't a sophomore, or if Gronowski had more years left, would we be a little bit more excited about this about an 8-4 team or something like that? We can talk about Gronowski, right? That I do think that a part of that disappointment for this season is that we knew that this was a one and done. But there's nothing else to keep going on that. If you got other places you want to go, we can certainly go. This is nothing there's not a lot of meat on this bone.
Yeah,
it's more of a thought.
Yeah, and I forgot we finished it up before we hit the music. So I apologize for putting you on the spot by saying, keep going.
I'm like, keep going on that thing, that chew on that bone for a little while.
Yeah, just, hey, Ross, here it is. Talk.
Can I talk? If we can change the subject, can I tell you a funny one?
Yeah.
So do you know this the baseball gambling scandal with Emmanuel Clase and Ortiz, right?
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase, the Guardians pitchers, were caught up in a gambling scandal where they were basically prop bets on individual pitches. And they're still working through some legalities on that. Well, Emmanuel Clase, journalist Luis Hernandez, a close friend of Emmanuel Clase and a native of Rio San Juan, clarified that the baseball player personally explained to him, Travis, and this is from Forbes.com. So again, Emmanuel Clase has a personal friend that is also a journalist. And the journalist came out and said, "Hey, everybody, don't worry. You've misunderstood this whole thing. Because my friend, who's at the center of this story, he didn't actually tip these pitches to gamblers. See, they found text messages minutes before he would go on to pitch. They found text messages from these gamblers that said, 'Is everything set?' And he wrote back, 'Yes.' From the bullpen. He would text back, 'Yes.' And then he would go out and he would throw a first pitch ball, or he would hit a batter, and then these bettors would place $4,000 bets on what the pitch was going to be, and they would win those bets. Journalist Luis Hernandez, a close friend of Emmanuel Clase and native of Rio San Juan, clarified that the baseball player personally explained to him that the phone calls he made about his fighting roosters were possibly misinterpreted by federal authorities as the conversations linked to sports betting.
So we're talking cockfighting, right?
There you go. There you go. His defense is cockfighting. His defense is baseball. I was talking about my roosters. What do you guys? Oh, you thought I was talking about baseball? No, man, I was talking about my fighting roosters down there.
Little Jerry Seinfeld was getting ready to get into the ring. If you haven't seen that Seinfeld episode, you're missing out. Little Jerry.
According to Hernandez, Clase directly told him that his messages and calls about the rooster play were possibly mistaken as coded calls related to sports betting. Hernandez relayed the explanation during a Spanish-language appearance on Revista Deportiva, a Dominican sports program per Gomez. Hernandez also confirmed that Clase is in Rio San Juan, his hometown in the Dominican Republic. So don't worry, everybody. He told his friend, who's a journalist, that it was about cockfighting. So nothing to see here.
The thing that kind of threw me off there, Ross, that I was actually surprised about, as I'm going to get serious on you now, is that he was texting from the bullpen. I didn't know you could have a cell phone in the bullpen or even in the dugout. I mean, to me, I don't think NFL players are allowed to have cell phones on the sidelines. I don't think college kids can have cell phones on the sidelines. The fact that you can have a cell phone within the bullpen or even the dugout is kind of surprising to me.
So I'll read this again. This is from the Forbes article. At about 1 p.m. on May 28th, 10 minutes before the first pitch of a game against the Los Angeles Dodgers, Clase received a text from a bettor asking if he was all set. According to a summary of the indictment allegations from The Athletic, which pointed to just one of several apparent efforts to coordinate bets, quote, Clase responded at 3:36, just before he entered the ninth inning to secure a save. Two bettors placed wagers totaling about $4,000 that a particular pitch would be a ball or a hit by pitch. So just a few minutes, again, I guess I'm inferring that he did it from the bullpen because the evidence shows that he was responding minutes before entering the game.
Damn. But no, I was getting ready for my cockfight. I was making sure my roosters were ready to go. Send me a picture of my rooster
Jerry.
before
Yeah. How's little Jerry doing today?
Oh man. Ross, the Iowa wrestling team lost to Ohio State in the National Duels final yesterday, 27-12. It just, I don't know, disappointing if you're a Hawkeye fan. Drew Peterson, he's ranked at 125, got pinned. Ohio State had a pin, a technical fall, a major decision, and Ayala, who's ranked, got beat by an unranked wrestler 10-4. And then Iowa went ahead and forfeited the 285 match because it was already going to get beat, so they forfeited that match. Disappointing, to say the least, maybe, to get beat that bad?
I think, to say the least, I think is the part I would disagree with there. Disappointing, yeah, because you want the Hawkeyes to win. This is an early season tournament, the national duels. So how'd Penn State do?
Penn State did not wrestle in the national duels.
Okay, so then let's slow down with calling this thing the national duels. It's what it's called, and that's what it is. And it was a fun wrestling meet, and it's a great way to get the blood flowing for wrestling fans. And
Tyler corrected me. He said there was no wrestler at heavyweight. They didn't fold. So I apologize for that. I saw the forfeit on there. So I thought they got to because I looked at the original lineup. They had one, so they must have pulled one late. So my apologies, Tyler, on that.
It was over at that point anyway. So I don't think, but there were some disappointing things about that for the Hawkeyes. You mentioned a couple of them there. You do want your wrestlers to go out and dominate these guys. Ohio State really showed up. And that's something that should be concerning for Hawkeye fans as well, because while you're trying to close that gap with Penn State, which is a chasm, you've got other teams that are now catching up to you very quickly, including Iowa State, by the way. So for Hawkeye fans that have been wanting to see a resurgence for this Hawkeye wrestling team and see them close that gap with Penn State and see them become a national powerhouse again, this is a little bit frustrating or disappointing, but I don't want to take too much away from it. It doesn't mean anything for the long haul of the season. It shows you how sharp some of these other teams, especially Ohio State, are, and that you got a lot of hard work to do if you want to get back up to being that great wrestling team that the Hawkeyes want to be. But other than that, I don't think there's too much to take away from it.
There was $200,000 up for grabs, so it was kind of like an NIL thing where Ohio State got, I think, the $200,000 grand prize. I do want to talk about, when it comes to national duels and tournaments, because tournaments have always been how we crown national champions. I like the idea, Ross, of a dual tournament if everybody was involved, if Penn State was there, because I look at that as more of a team sport. But we've been ingrained for years that tournaments are how you do this. But I like the dual head-to-head matchup to see who the best team is. You've covered a lot more wrestling than I have. That's why I'm asking you this question, is how do you look at a dual head-to-head versus a tournament format where points are won at the third, fourth, and even fifth, sixth place level to where you get
bonus points for the team based on how you perform and all that. I mean, I don't know, Trav. That's a really good question. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I've probably actually leaned towards the traditional format. Not the dual format is fun, but I don't have any problem with a big tournament and seeing and you really get to shake out. It's not just pass-fail at each weight class, which is what it becomes in a dual meet. It doesn't matter how much better you are than the other guy. I mean, obviously, you get those bonus points, but I like traditional tournaments. I think I have no problem with them crowning a champion at the end of the NCAA championship, saying this team ended up with the most team points. I have no problem with that. I think that's fine. And dual meets do take time, and you're only going to watch two wrestlers at a time. But when you get that tournament format, you get to really see a lot of wrestling, and you get to I don't know. I feel like it's a better sample size in a way.
That's
Not
fair.
knocking dual formats. I like them. They're fun. And I love dual meets, man. When Iowa State wrestle here up in Hilton, that's going to be a banger. When Iowa and Penn State wrestle, that's going to be a lot of fun. When you get into tournaments like this, I have no problem with the tournament style scoring where it all shakes out in the end. By the way, the best team wins those.
True.
So, and the best teams win dual meets as well. So I'm kind of 50-50 on it, but if you if you told me I had to pick one, I would get rid of the dual format.
It's fair. It's fair. And you're right. It is early in the season, but I still don't. I mean, there's still Penn State and everybody else.
That's the thing of like, it's the national dual championships. Oh, how'd Penn State do? Well, they weren't there. Okay, let's slow down. Let's wait and see who can wrestle with Penn State. Because they're the cream of the crop. They are the big dog. And until somebody can go and take them off the chain, cool.
Of course, we talked a lot about Hawkeye football. Iowa State did not play this past weekend. They had the bye week. Also sitting at 6-4. They take on Kansas this weekend, Ross. And I put on our thumbnail today. Where do we go from here? Right? It's that feeling for both Iowa and Iowa State fans. You're sitting there at 6-4. Do you play for? Is it playing for pride now? Because we talked a lot about the bowl games. I don't care what bowl game you go to, because at the end of the day, and I don't even look at it as, well, we're going to a higher ranked bowl. All you mean is you're going to a bowl that pays you a little bit more money. Bowl games are bowl games now. If you choose to travel, you choose to travel. Are both these teams playing for pride now? Is that what it is?
Yeah. You're definitely within the locker room. That's what they're playing for, right? And then for fans, it's the hope again. You're playing for pride. I mean, playing for pride. It matters to the fans because you hate to see your team lose, and you love to see your team win. Just like we were talking about with the Hawkeyes earlier, man. I'm a Hawkeye fan, and that means on Saturday, it's no holds barred and kick ass, right? And that's how Cyclone fans are feeling about it too. Inside the locker room, it's absolutely about pride. Inside the locker room, again, Matt Campbell ain't going nowhere. So inside the locker room, there is a bigger vision. I guarantee you those coaches are doing the thing that Chris was talking about earlier with Mark Gronowski that hurts, where you go, oh, man, we don't even have this guy again. At 2 more games with Mark Gronowski. That's it, 3 more with a bowl game. But for the coaching staff, it's way bigger than that. And for most of the guys on the roster, it is way bigger than that. It's still getting better. It's still, trying to improve. It's still looking at those long-term goals that you have. For a lot of these guys that are freshmen and sophomore on both of these teams, they probably still have hopes of making it to the league. And so that means a lot of hard work. That means you show up on Monday and you get your ass in gear and you try to get better and you try to make sure that you can beat up on Kansas on Saturday. But so is that what you're looking for? I mean, like from the locker room perspective, yeah, dude.
And by the way, a fan perspective and a locker room perspective are 2 different things.
This is why I love having Kluver on, because it's so, like, we as fans do this thing. We go, well, season's over, can't get in the college football playoff, so now what? I guarantee you that's not what's happening inside that locker room, because their goals probably were very different from the onset. Did they want to make the college football playoff? Yes. But the goals that I think are clearly stated within these teams from Matt Campbell, from Kirk Ferentz, are get better every day. Have a long-term vision. Dedicate yourself to a process of improving yourself. And because 99% of you aren't going to go play in the league. And so you got to take something out of this thing. Most of us aren't going to play in the college football playoff. So what is your goal and what are you trying to get out of it? And I think that's how you land on that thing of get better every day, work on it, get better for next year, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's way different. We as fans, it's easy to get emotional about it and pretend like we're giving up on the season, pretend like none of this stuff matters. To those guys inside, it absolutely does.
Burger McChick asks this question. Is the Kansas coaching seat getting warm? The answer to that is no. And I know this season has not gone the way Kansas has wanted it to. They're 5-5. They just opened a new stadium. They're going to finish off the stadium when this season is over. They'll start doing the other side. But memories are short, aren't they, Ross? I mean, before Lance Leipold showed up at KU, we forget how bad they were. And when you start tasting a little bit of success, you think the pressure mounts. But he just got a nice big contract extension. The fact that Kansas has 5 wins, 5 years ago, they would have taken 5 wins. And I know the expectation changes, but changing coaches at KU, is not going to happen in a relatively short or probably even middle future, because he's turned the culture around. He's done more at KU since the likes of Mark Mangino. And Kansas fans remember that. Sure, they got blown out by Kansas State. They've lost 3 of their last 4. But I don't believe the coaching seat is hot at KU at all. Disappointed. I'm sure their athletic director is disappointed. I'm sure their fans are disappointed. But let's not forget, it wasn't too long ago that Kansas was really, really, really bad. And so, no, I don't think it's getting hot. Now, you do this 2 or 3 more years, then it gets warm. Then it gets hot because you go, have we plateaued? Have we gone as high as we can? But I don't think it's warm yet. On a seat level warm, 5 being the hottest, 1 being or 0 being the coolest, it's probably a 1 or 2. Because I think there's always pressure, but I still think you're a couple years away of continuing seasons like this. But Kansas has offensive firepower. They don't have a very good defense, but they do have offensive firepower. And that's what's going to be interesting against Iowa State, because Iowa State has given up big yards. I mean, Kansas beat Colorado. Iowa State didn't beat Colorado. And this is a weird year where you try to go, okay, if A beats B and B beats C, I mean, you look at some of the scores from across the country. Big 10, Big 12, SEC. SEC is a good example of it. Texas beats Oklahoma, which loses to Alabama, which Oklahoma beats Alabama. I mean, there's just so much parity in the game right now. And for as much as NIL bothers a lot of people, NIL to me has made the game of college football fun. I mean, really, really fun. And because if you don't like the parody now, that means you just like the way it was done, where people kind of assumed their position in college football and the powers that be maintain the power structure. I like the mess that we're in. I like knowing that I can sit down every Saturday and watch an incredible game and not really knowing who's going to win. I even asked, is Ohio State really the best team in the country? Because look at their schedule. We don't know if Ohio State's really the best team in the country. We assume they are because they won the national title and they haven't lost yet. But if you look at their schedule and you go, well, they haven't played anybody.
Yeah, but dude, you put those 2 things back to back. They won the national title and they're undefeated.
Yes.
Are they the best team in the country?
Right now? Yeah, I'll give it to them.
That's yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right now. Could they lose in the college football playoff? Yeah. I think that we got to pump the brakes a little bit on this conversation. You're right. The parity is definitely increased. The chances for talented players to move around has meant that you're going to have a shifting landscape here. Right now, Travis, it's really hard to look at those top 10 teams, with the exception of Indiana. Every one of those is a blue blood type of program, or whatever term you want to use for perennial powerhouse. It is the top 10 right now, even the top 15. Let me go look at it real quick. For the most part, it's those big brands.
I mean, I wouldn't put Texas Tech in the blue blood type format. I mean, Texas Tech,
you're right. They're sitting at number 6 right now. BYU at 11, Vanderbilt at 12, Utah at 13, Georgia Tech at 15, Virginia at 19, James Madison at 21, North Texas at 22, Missouri, Tulane, Houston. You get into that, you look through that top 25, you see a lot of teams that we never would have seen in that top 25. So my gut says this is a great thing I'm with you. I love the chaos. I love the fact that you've got teams like that we just went through that can now be in competition and be in the conversation. Ohio State, Texas A&M, Georgia, and really Ole Miss is another one. I don't think Ole Miss qualifies as that perennial powerhouse. They might be an
not
SEC
at all.
Team, but it's been a long time since it's been Ole Miss at the top of the rankings. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami, USC, Texas, Michigan, Tennessee. God, dude, it's about 50-50. You look at that top 25, it's about 50-50 of those teams that are powerhouse teams. okay, so using the term blue blood is probably because blue blood, people want to put we've had those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, well, what does that mean? What are the qualifications? Are you known as one of the most prominent brands in the game? Are you known as a team that at the beginning of the year, people are going to say, oh my God, we've got blank on the schedule? Texas A&M fits into that. Texas A&M fits into that category of going, damn, that's going to be a really good football team, no matter what. No matter what. Texas. So that's what we're talking about here. The haves, the have-nots, and how that oil and water is starting to mix a little bit right now, with Indiana being number 2.
Can I ask you a question, though? Why do you put Texas A&M in there? Because they haven't won a national title since 1936, I believe it is, and really haven't been in the national title conversation. But I'm not saying I disagree with you, but is that a mental thing because it's Texas and we see 100 and some thousand people there? Or
no, it's because every year they're a really good football team.
That's fair.
95% of the time, Texas A&M is going to be a really good football team. Yeah, they haven't won a national title in 90 years. That's why, again, blue blood is such a weird thing because, well, technically, blue blood means 4 national titles, and if you've only got 3 national... Okay, all right. Are they a perennial powerhouse? Are they a team that can... is when you see them on the schedule, do you go, ooh, that's going to be a tough game? It'd be easy to say, well, Penn State doesn't qualify as that. Look at how bad they've been this year. Is Penn State one of those brands? Yes. Yes is the answer to that. Don't think about it.
I think that's the best way to put it because already people are going, A&M's out of blue blood.
Jesus Christ.
But Ross, the way you justified it is it's the brand, right? A&M has a strong national brand.
But the semantics of what blue blood means, Travis, if you're going to talk about it, international. Are they a really good franchise?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Is Nebraska right now? No. No.
But they have a strong national brand. I mean, their brand is based on name.
Nobody sees Nebraska on their schedule and curls their lip.
I would agree with that. But if they were all of a sudden to get in the top 25, you would go, oh, that's a brand that's recognizable. Florida State's still a brand that's recognizable, even though they're not feared. Hell, Clemson is a
Florida State's a lot like Nebraska. Clemson has it a little bit more recently, though.
True.
Okay. Sometimes, Trav, you have to zoom out from Omaha. You really do, because Nebraska does not have the same clout that it used to.
I would disagree from a brand standpoint. But I think we're talking about two different things here. Okay. You're talking about wins and losses, and
you're talking about how many T-shirts you sell at Walmart.
I'm talking about the truth is television ratings. When Nebraska is on, they bring in people. They just do. They have a strong national brand, and that's because you're talking about one team in one state. They do have a bigger national brand.
Yeah, that's not at all what I'm talking about.
So you're only talking wins and losses.
That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on the field of play.
Then Texas A&M doesn't fit your criteria.
Texas A&M's not a team you fear?
Not this year, but in years past, no. Go back 5 years, and they're a disaster.
Yeah, you're right, Travis. Go back 5 years. These last 4 years, have they been a brand they have one of the largest NILs. They've been a preseason top 5 team going into the year. They're 10-0 on the season this year.
I would say this year is the only year that people fear them in most recent memory.
Okay.
To using your criteria. They're good. They haven't been to this level to where you're like, oh, this team's really good. And when they fall down by 27 points at home to South Carolina, they find a way to come back and win, which was really one of the most exciting college football games I got to see over the weekend. So that was 515-517-2303. That is the number to call. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of fun. How are you rocking her world? We got some great stories. Get some feedback if people who've entered so far. We'll read some of those stories of how you can pick up a nice jewel from Fiscus Jewelers. It's all coming up on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
November's here, and that means Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And here at Willis, we are thankful for you, our guests, for entrusting us with your vehicle and service needs. The holiday season means travel, and that means extra miles on your car that can cause wear and tear. Save that for your pants after all that turkey. And while we can't fix your slacks, we can make sure your car's in tip-top shape. So come on down to Willis for 10% off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Monday, everybody. We're glad you're with us. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. It's good to have you here. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, go ahead and give this channel a subscription, like the video, and start leaving your comments in the comment section. You can also follow us on our social media channels, which would be X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. Probably wondering, where the hell did Ross Peterson go? Well, last week and for most time it was my internet. Now it appears to be Ross's internet. He went blank right before we went to break. He was like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So we were coming through loud and through with him. So he's going to try to get those fixed. So, now you get to keep me company. I get to entertain you for an hour. So don't go away, because you might want to sit around and watch this shit show. Go, let's see if he can really, really fill an hour. And I don't know if I can do that, without Ross. Now, I'll do the best I can. But yeah, would love to get your feedback at 515-517-2303. Timmy says the Texas A&M got him. I don't know if it was that. It happens. That's the crazy thing about the internet, right? You just never know. I recently moved to the fiber, which I'm glad I did, but I still don't trust it enough, so I'm running a redundant system in my house. So I still have the Cox coax, and then I have the fiber. What's going on, man?
I don't know what happened there. I don't know. You froze for a minute, and I was like, uh-oh, Travis is froze. And then I went black. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Maybe it's not Travis's fault.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what's happening there.
All right, so coming up on Saturday, you have the Fiscus Jewelers Gem Trunk Show. It's Saturday from 9 to 3. You can pick your favorite gemstones, design a custom holiday piece, get $250 off a custom design, and that's that day only. Plus, they're going to have fun giveaways throughout the day. Perfect time to create something one of a kind. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life. Now, on Thursday, we're going to give away something cool, and you have until basically Wednesday night to get entered. We got some entries here, and I want to read them. But tell us what you did to get up on the couch, right? You could score a 7-carat blue topaz, a real gemstone that has a $400 value. All you have to do is submit your story, and you can be picked to share on air, or we'll read them on air. The top 3 stories are going to be picked by Ross and myself and be voted on. One lucky winner will be picked on, that says Friday, November 21st. I think we could do it Friday. We just want to make sure it doesn't interfere with the weekly woohoo. And get that instant get-out-of-jail card. Because so how do you enter? You go to therushradio.com, you click on the promotions tab, and then you fill out your story, and we'll go from there. You want to hear some stories, Ross? Want to hear some stories?
Yeah, I do want to hear some stories. Do you have some good ones coming in?
We do. We got it was a good weekend of Rock Her World, and we want them to keep coming in because everybody's got a story. This one comes from Matt.
Okay.
A few years ago, I really wanted a truck. My wife, Jen, did not want me to get one. I brought it up a few times, and she said no every time. One weekend, her and some friends flew to Colorado for some fun. So while she was gone, I bought a truck. Yes, I agree. It was her fault. She shouldn't have left me with no adult supervision. When I picked her up at the airport, she did not like the truck as much as I had hoped. She does not get mad about it anymore, but we also don't talk about it. Matt.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because it's a constant reminder. Matt, you have a constant reminder sitting in the driveway of your disobedience.
Now, if you and your wife ran off separate checking accounts and you had your own money, I don't have a problem with it. But it doesn't sound like that was the case, right?
People do that?
What, run separate checking accounts?
Like you and your wife get married, but you still have completely separate financial lives?
I think there are some people. I don't know. We don't have Now, I keep a separate account for like taxes and stuff like that, but I don't touch it. And I sure as hell am not buying a car without asking.
I told you my dad bought a house without telling my mom, right?
Wow, that takes some guts.
Let me introduce you to Dave Peterson.
I was 22 years old when I moved to Wausau, Wisconsin, and I picked out the apartment, right? My wife said, don't you ever pick out a place to live without me again. Ever. No.
A truck.
All right, we got one from Al.
We got one from Al. I like that story, Matt. Good luck with that one. All right, what's Al's
Here's one
story?
from Al.
Okay.
I love how it starts like this. Stuff had been festering for a while with my wife.
Good start.
It all started when we went to San Diego in July. I bought Padres Mets tickets. I was wondering why I was receiving my ticket. Turns out I actually bought Padres Mets tickets in October at City Park in New York on a 1 o'clock Wednesday game instead of Padres Mets tickets in July for a 1 o'clock Wednesday game. I said, hey, we'll hold on to these tickets, and maybe the Mets will be good in October and fighting for a playoff spot. We can maybe sell them for more. Reluctantly, she said yes. The day in October comes, the Mets are absolute trash, and I offloaded the tickets for pennies on the dollar. That was just the start of it. So the next thing, I wanted to buy a boat. Before I left to look at the boat, my wife said, don't rush into this. I said, yep. I got there to look at the boat. First thing I saw was the boat trailer had brand new tires. Yeah. I said, I got to have it. I bought the boat. I went to start it, wouldn't start. I tinkered with it a while, brought it back, but in the back of my mind, she's going to actually unglue to me if I can't get this running. So I figured I'd take it to get it fixed. Boat motor mechanic said, motor's junk. You need a new one. I said, how much is that new one? He said, I can get you out the door today for $8,000. Yeah. My wife said, I fucking told you not to rush into this and buy tickets for the for the wrong baseball game. And now you have a stupid fishing boat that doesn't run. So here I am working down by Red Rock Lake, watching all these fishermen drive past me and their nice fishing boats. Everyone boat that passes me makes me think of my wife yelling at me. I can't take it. I need this jewel to get her off my ass.
This poor guy, Al, has had fishing and baseball ruined. He can't turn on a baseball game in the house because his wife will go, it's not the Padres or Mets, is it? Works down by Red Rock, so he sees, he's right down there by the, is it Monroe Motors or something? Right there on the exit, there's a boathouse. There's a guy that fixes boats. God, why can't I think of that? They were a sponsor for a while, Trav.
I know who you're talking about.
Malone Motorsports. Yeah. He sees boats every day driving past him. He's got to go. All right, baseball and fishing. Al's playing to the crowd there. He's playing up to my emotions.
Jesse says, my wife is the best and has been through a lot in the last year. She lost her mother on Easter 2025 after a courageous battle with cancer. She was winning, but was taken from a different and sudden medical issue. My wife's sister had a medical emergency recently at 8.5 months pregnant, and she supported her through a month-long stay in Iowa City for her sister and baby. They're doing well now. She recently elected to our local school board, has helped settle down a tumultuous year within the board, and did all this while owning and operating a business that we recently decided we needed to close. The closure is not a lack of business success due to the detrimental business relationship with key business partner. I've ended up on the couch, or really caused all this. How did you cause all this? I haven't ended up on the couch or haven't caused all this, but I love my life incredibly, and I really want her to win.
She's just been through a lot. That makes sense.
Ross says, I didn't necessarily end up on the couch, but I decided to schedule back surgery while my wife was 7 months pregnant and my mobility weight restriction wasn't lifted until after the baby was born. Then I decided it'd be good to knock her up 3 months later and have 2 kids 1 year and 9 days apart. And now I officiate 2 sports, spending much of my year at ball fields every single night in the week and all weekend long while she wrangles 2 children all day, all night, while I chase my dreams. She also puts up with my off-season gig, ushering many sporting events at Hilton. Again, all hours of the day and many weekends. That's from Ross.
Scheduled back surgery while the wife's 7 months pregnant.
and then knocks her up 3 months later.
Let me just defend Ross for a minute here, okay? And Ross, maybe zoom out a bit, because if you needed back surgery and the wife's already pregnant, when do you schedule it, Travis? I would say you schedule it before the baby's born.
But he had mobility issues to where he couldn't help. He couldn't lift the baby.
You're going to have that anyway. After the back surgery, you're going to have a period of time where you're out of commission. And you and I have talked about this. Like the first couple weeks of having a baby, there's really not a lot to do. You don't have to chase the baby around. You don't have to take the baby anywhere. You got to change diapers. You got to feed the baby. The wiggle in the story is 3 months after having back surgery, he's getting down again. Way to go, Ross. Way to go, buddy.
Attaboy.
That's getting back on the saddle right there.
And then you just start officiating and going, hey, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. You be a stay-at-home mom.
And did he have back surgery because of all the officiating? And now he's back out there again?
So keep your submissions coming for Rock Her World. Just go to therushladio.com, click on the promotions tab, and you could pick up that wonderful jewel from Fiscus. And we're going to read more. And if you have some, you can also call them in at 515-517-2303.
Travis, I missed the name of the third email you read. Who was that? It started with a J, I thought. Was it
Jesse?
Jesse. Okay.
Jesse.
All right.
Yeah. Barry, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Love your show. I just don't understand how people can't say that the refs affect the game. Take, for example, the Iowa game. Say if we didn't have a penalty or an interception, they could run instead of pass, take more time off the clock, and hopefully win that game.
Yeah, the refs definitely affect the game, Barry. I don't think that they decided that game on Saturday. I mean, every game that's close, every game that's a one-possession game, you can look at and find stuff. The losing team can look at and go, oh, well, there was this thing that happened. There was this call, and if that call would have gone our way, for the Hawkeyes especially with the face mask, because the interception happens on the very next play, it's really easy for Hawkeye fans to look at that and go, oh, man, if the referees would have got...
Do you believe in a West Coast bias?
No, I don't think that there... Man, I want to be careful here, Jess. Or what was your name? I'm so sorry.
It is Barry.
Barry, I wrote that down too, Barry. I'm sorry. Gosh. Barry, are there times when officials are nefarious actors? 100%. We've seen this in sports a lot lately, where not a lot. We've seen this in sports lately where officials are actually getting in trouble for doing this. I don't think that officials go into games with a bias. And I don't think that officials go into a game going, oh, man, if we can get USC to win this game, they'll get to play Oregon. And I don't think that they're thinking that far ahead. I think officials, just like everybody else, they're trying to do their job the best they can, and they make mistakes. And then we as fans see those mistakes and we project them out in really weird ways. Is it possible that one of those officials was on the take? And I won't say that that's an impossibility. I don't think that was what was happening here. I think that the officials had a really bad day. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of calls on there. Again, with most games, you can do this. With most games, you can watch it with a critical eye of the officials and go, oh, man, they really wanted to screw the Hawkeyes. But when that is your default position, which a lot of fans, their immediate default position as soon as a call doesn't go their way, it's, can't win today, playing against everybody. Let me tell you, Barry, when I was at East High School, I saw this manifest itself in awful weird ways. Everybody was convinced that everybody was out to get the East Siders. And so the minute the first call didn't go your way, you threw your hands up. Can't win today. Basketball's 7-on-5. They always want Dowling to win. Or is it just possible that Dowling's way better? Yeah, what happened to me watching that game on Saturday? That interception is not the direct effect of that missed call. I don't know if they would have gotten that 15-yard face masking call that the Hawkeyes wouldn't have run the exact same play coming out of it. Is it more than likely on first down they'd have run the ball than throw the ball? Yes. Is there a guarantee that the Hawkeyes would have gone down and scored a touchdown there? No. Did the officials have a bad day? They did have a bad day. Did they miss some calls that affected the game? They did. Why did the Hawkeyes lose that game? Because they couldn't move the ball in the second half. Because they couldn't get a stop in the second half. Because USC scored 19 unanswered points. Because USC showed up with a group of Division I athletes who are fantastic athletes that wanted to win that game, and a coach, by the way, that out-coached Kirk Ferentz in the second half. That's why USC won that game, and that's why the Hawkeyes lost. So did they impact the game? Did they affect the game? I can't argue with that. Did they decide the game? That's where I'll push back and say the officials didn't decide that game. Very rarely do officials decide the game. They can impact it. They affect it, and they have bad days. But I hate this. It's such low-hanging fruit, and it becomes a default response for fans now. To go, well, the officials sucked, therefore they had this greater, grander scheme to defraud my team. That's not the case. The officials are trying to do their best job, and they screw it up sometimes, just like all of us.
Frank asked, do you guys think everyone questions officials now more because of gambling?
Yes.
Yes, but for as long as I've been alive, people have always questioned officials. I mean,
he's asking, do they do it more? Because, well, first of all, let's start with the premise. Do you think? I feel like we hear this a lot more now than we used to 5-10 years ago. People blame officials a lot quicker now than they used to. For Bill Blank, I get that it's like a shtick for Bill. It's like a routine. And Bill will openly say, I blame the officials because I don't want to blame the Hawkeyes. I don't want to blame Kirk Ferentz. I don't want to blame the players that are wearing the Tiger Hawk. And so the only person I can blame is that authority figure. So instantly, as soon as there's a holding call missed, you'll see Bill Blank on socials. Can't win today. Surrender, Cobra, because, man, the officials want to screw us over. No. The officials, they might screw you over. They didn't want to. They didn't go out there with the intention of it. Officials make...
They're human.
Officiating is really hard. It's really hard. We get to watch the television. We get to replay. We get to go back. Well, did you see that holding call? Go back and watch it. How did they miss that? Because your focus is about this wide. And if you're not looking at the guy who's holding on that particular play, oh, man, that dude's out to get us. No, he made a mistake. And by the way, you've got to be able to get over those mistakes. I guarantee you, if we could watch this game through USC lenses, there were things that happened on the other side too, where you could go, oh man, they missed that call against the Hawkeyes. But we see the world through our own glasses. And we wear black and gold glasses. And that some of this stuff is egregious. You see that face masking call and you're like, man, how did they miss that? It spun the dude around and he's the ball carrier. They missed it. I don't think that the officials are, first of all, how intelligent you would have to have that in your head ahead of time of like, okay, if there's a face masking call, I'm not going to call it on this one. I'm going to keep that flag. I'm going to keep my whistle in my around my neck, and I'm going to keep that flag in my pocket.
You know what's funny about that face mask, Ross? I thought it was a face mask when it happened. Just hear me out. It wasn't until the replay I was convinced, because I'm like, when they did call the flag, I go, well, maybe he got him up here.
Yeah.
And I actually questioned it in my head going, well, maybe he really didn't get, and you can't go back and review that stuff. That stuff is not reviewable. So therefore you can't go back and correct that mistake. So if I'm watching TV and I go, God, was that a face mask? But then I got, well, maybe it was up here. When something happens in real time this fast, and I was watching the NFL yesterday and they're showing replays. Even when you slow it down to 3/4 speed, not even half speed, it gives you so much better appreciation for what happens. Full speed on television is not even what full speed in real life is like.
Dude, the number, like when I'm watching the game with my friends and everybody in the room is a Hawkeye fan, the number of times you hear somebody yell, "That's a hold!" or "pass interference!" And then you watch the replay and you go, "Oh, no, that wasn't a hold. Oh, no, that's not pass interference." And then the exact opposite happens. A flag gets thrown and you're like, "That's not pass interference." We are fans. We are fanatical about the sports. And it's really, really hard to turn that off at some point and go, "Oh man, I want to be a little bit more critical here for both sides." Flag says, "I feel like you're talking about me."
He is, Flag.
Flag, I'm talking about, and you know this, Chris knows this because he's been in the room. I'm talking about fans. We do that. And that's the same thing I feel like is happening here, is it's easy to watch these games and you're blinded by your fandom. Blinded by it. You can't see what you're supposed to see because you're seeing what you want to see.
Lady Sidebird says, it doesn't matter whether or not I notice it in real time or on the replay. That isn't my job. It's theirs, and they need to do it right. 100%. What if I were to tell you in a college basketball game, I've asked officials, when you're graded, what percentage of calls do you want to get right for a game? And what is a successful game? Now, a lot of you say 100%. That's not fair. It's not possible. 90% is what they want to hit. And I think that's a pretty, over 40 minutes and as much banging and everything that goes on, Ross. I think, now football may be a little bit higher than that because you have so many more officials. But I'm using college basketball example. They're like, if we can get 90% of the calls right during a game and get the ones that are in the key times right, then it's a good game. You're going to miss calls. And don't get me wrong, we get fired up about them. I just don't like playing the blame game all the freaking time.
I'm with you, man. It just seems like the easiest low-hanging fruit of, well, the officials screwed us, therefore they must have been on the take against my team. Here's a great question. How often have you and your friends sat around and gone, man, the officials really wanted Iowa to win this one, didn't they? How often have you said, oh, man, the officials are probably on the take to make sure that Iowa wins this game, or Iowa State? Because let's be honest, Iowa State fans, this is kind of what they're known for, right? This is the Iowa State. This is play number one in the Iowa State fan playbook is, oh, my God, the officials screwed us. And then it doesn't help the fact that the Big 12 has issued like dozens of letters to Iowa State apologizing for the officiating. It feeds into it. Did the officials do it on purpose? Did the officials do it because they hate Iowa State? Well, if that's the case, then show me the time that they did it because they wanted Iowa State to win. And if your answer is, well, that's never happened, I think we're getting closer to the answer here. When was the last time a game ended and you and your friends looked around and said, man, glad the officials were on our side in this one? I bet the answer is never. I've never been at a game watch party where one of my buddies was like, whew, glad that official was paid off for us. Because, man, we've gotten all the good calls here, haven't we?
They don't phrase it like that. They go, boy, the officials called a clean game today, didn't they?
They did a great job there. I know. I got to say, we haven't bitched about the officials once today. When you don't bitch about them, that means they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job.
Yeah. Again, I wish you could wish you could have an ear into one of those other parties who's complaining nonstop about the holds that aren't getting called and the offsides that aren't getting called and the pass interferences that aren't getting called. But when it doesn't happen, it's real easy to go, oh, man, they did a great job today. all right, let's do this. Let's, because this is another fun one. Brian writes in, do you guys think that calls sometimes do not get called against certain teams because of the networks and what it seems like they want? Money makes a lot of decisions in sports and in the world. You're right. Do I think that the officials get so what he's suggesting there is that like ESPN tells the officials, hey, we really need XYZ to happen. No, I don't think that happens. The officials are graded on how they do their job, which they get paid pretty well for. They want to keep these jobs. Nobody likes to get fired.
No.
Everybody wants their job performance review to come back and say, you're really good at this thing. And you know this from being around Higgins. They don't come back and go, hey, way to go. You missed that call that we wanted you to miss. Way to go. You screwed up that play that we wanted you to screw up so that the billionaires could get more money.
When I was down in Phoenix, Ross, and I did like 17 podcasts for Make the Right Calls, and I asked every official, what haunts you the most? And it's always the plays they know they missed at a big time. It haunts them, right? Because their integrity's on the line. They and I'm with you. And maybe I'm naive here, but I do want to believe that every official wants to get it right. And sure, they're going to suck some days. They missed a lot of calls in the Iowa game. I don't think they did it on purpose. But you're right. You want them to get it. And let's not forget, there was an SEC official, like an established one, that missed that call against Auburn earlier in the year. He got benched. They benched him. They said, hey, this was egregious. You screwed up. We're suspending you. So there is action. And these guys are graded. Now, should those grades be public? No, because that just creates more confusion with fans, creates more hatred, creates just more criticism. Where they're graded is, you see where they get assigned next year, and if they even get assigned next year. And there's probably more officials that go away than you ever realize.
Speaking of assignments and losing your assignment, did you see the Texas cop?
Oh, dude.
Shoulder the South Carolina, go up the tunnel just so he could shoulder.
To me, that was a power trip, and it also seemed borderline racist. Was I wrong to think there was racism involved there?
I think that I don't know. I don't know about the racism part of it. It's easy when it's a white guy and black guys to
do
say
that.
It was a power trip, certainly. This was, dude, I've said this a lot of times. Cops, the worst part about cops is that they're people. And people suck. And this cop gives cops a bad name. On a big, grand scale, you see that stuff, and it's easy to go, God, these Dudley Do-Right, Buford T. Justice MFers walking up the tunnel all broad-shouldered. He has no reason to be going up the tunnel. None.
Guy just scored a touchdown. He's coming down the tunnel with his teammate.
He kept going because he'd pulled his hamstring and he didn't want to stop. So he has to kind of Forrest Gump it and get up the tunnel a little ways while he slows down. His teammates go to celebrate with him, and as he's coming back down, the cop goes up and shoulders both of those guys. That's a bad look.
Credit Texas A&M for seeing that and getting him out of the stadium, right? I mean, they told him to go home, and they addressed it. And they said, hey, we sent this guy home. We called the Texas Highway Patrol, said, get this guy out of here. But it was a bad look by that cop because you just look at it and go, what are you doing?
It doesn't just give that cop a bad look. That's the type of thing that people put a broad brush on it.
Yep.
And they go, man, why are cops so power hungry? Who do you think you are that you get to walk up the tunnel and do that? Go up there and shoulder two kids and then turn around and yell at them, and bad look. And it glad that he was removed from that, and I guess there's already been some punishments for him. But bad news is that guy's going to be back out on the road pulling people over today, and that same power-hungry, power-tripping child is in a place of authority. That's bad news.
515-517-2303. That's the number to call. When we come back, we got another get off the couch submission. This one's a good one. We'll do that, and I'm going to play a little trivia with Ross. A little trivia with Ross. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
November's here, and that means Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And here at Willis, we're thankful for you, our guests, for entrusting us with your vehicle and service needs. With holiday season comes travel, and all those extra miles can cause wear and tear on your car. Save that for your pants after all that turkey. While we can't fix your slacks, we sure can make sure your car's in tip-top shape. So come on down to Willis for 10% off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hey, it's Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. This holiday season, give the gift of sparkle that lasts a lifetime. From our latest designs to timeless favorites, there's something for everyone on your list. Already have a Fiscus diamond? Bring it in and trade up with our 100% trade-up program. It's the perfect way to shine a little brighter this year. And if you're dreaming up something custom, get your design started by December 1st for Christmas delivery. Let's make this season magical together. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
It's November and I know what I'm thankful for. A running car for all my travel ahead. To keep your car on the road, bring it in the Willis Nissan for brakes, tires, oil changes, the main courses, and the sides. Schedule your appointment online today at willisnissan.com and we'll see you on the service drive.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The gift that keeps on giving is the Iowa Lottery, and the Iowa Lottery tickets just say no, no, no to basic gift giving, and give the gift that keeps on winning. Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery. New Holiday Scratch tickets this season include Holiday Gold, Holiday Bright, Merry and Bright, Holiday 10 Times, Merry Money, Peppermint Crossword, and Chillin' with the Nomies. And don't forget your Instaplay tickets, Elf and Reindeer Riches. You can win holiday riches from $500,000 to $250,000. So get entered, and you can hang on to your non-winning tickets and be one of 55 people who win up to $100,000. Just get entered before 10 a.m. on December 3rd. Go to iowalottery.org for more. Before we get into our little trivia game, we got Mario sent in a get off the couch submission. Okay, He goes, well, how do I start this? You get the hook is in the beginning, folks. If you want us to get us, he goes, about a month ago, my wife, Karen, how fitting that her name is Karen, and I got into a tiff. It was the same thing as before, not showing enough affection, not giving her the love and attention she needs. Now, I admit I'm not a sensitive person. You could say that I'm emotionally stupid when it comes to seeing when she needs extra love. A month ago, we were going through it. We quit talking. We weren't sleeping in the same bed for a week. Finally, I said, well, I'm not good enough. Then I should just leave. So I did. Not only did I move out, but I also filed for divorce. Okay, so I realized right away I jumped the gun, but the damage had been done. A week after I filed, we started talking, and now we're back together. But I live under this, you filed for divorce shadow. I love this woman. I fucked up. And big time on this one.
Mario, Jesus.
These are good, by the way. We've got some really good submissions for this already.
I jumped the gun and filed for divorce? Oh, my God, dude.
You might want to try counseling. You might want to try giving her a hug. You might want to try giving her a stone from Fiscus Jewelers.
Dude, I'm not sure what I mean... I'm just going to say what's on my mind here. I feel like if we give Mario this, the gem's just going to end up in some divorce settlement anyway.
And I'm going to let you in on something, Mario. I've been fully transparent on the show. Going back when we were on the old place, I did some things that were pretty unforgivable. And I'm going to tell you, you filed for divorce card or you did this card last about 15 years.
You can't unring that bell.
You can't. And I rang some bells that should never have been rung, but I did them.
Oh, Mario. I learned something. If you're thinking about getting a divorce, you don't want to get a divorce. You know. If you're thinking about it, that's a good thing. I mean, not a good thing, but what that means is you're holding on to hope for it. Mario. Damn, I wasn't being affectionate enough, so I just went and filed for divorce.
Said finally have it. But we're not going to talk. We're sleeping in different
that's the
beds.
wrong move. That's the wrong move there, Mario. You're playing the wrong game here, dude.
Was it when you laid down to go to sleep in the Motel 6 where you're like, I think I like my house a little better than this? Oh,
it's a rough
one.
Again, all right. If you can
rock her world, again, go to therushradio.com, go to the promotions tab, and give us your story. We like to read the stories. We're going to be doing it tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So let's play a little trivia, Ross.
All right.
Iowa State basketball team is home tonight. They're going to play Stonehill College. So I'm going to ask you some questions about Stonehill College and see what your knowledge of Stonehill College is.
Well,
the show rundown.
To give you a little indication, I know nothing about Stonehill College.
That's why I'm gonna like your answer.
Okay,
it's funny.
Right.
I sent the show rundown to Ross. He said Iowa State plays Stonehill tonight. We're gonna play some trivia. Don't look it up. What I meant was don't.
I didn't look up anything.
The Stonehill mascot
is the Bulldogs.
Nope.
I just took the most common guess. It is the Aardvark, Stonehill Aardvark.
That would be incorrect.
It is the Ghosts, the Stonehill Ghosts. That's that'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
That would be a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
They are the Stonehill Skyhawks.
Skyhawks?
Yeah, the Skyhawks.
Yeah, you know how you can tell if it's a hawk if it's in the air. If they're in the sky, that's a hawk.
Where is Stonehill College?
Stonehill College is in Poughkeepsie, New York. Surprised you didn't know that.
That would be incorrect.
It's in Saginaw, Michigan. Surprised you didn't know that.
Michigan is actually a pretty good guess. You hear the word like Stonehill. That's got to be a Michigan place. No, Stonehill is in Easton, Massachusetts.
That's what I meant. Easton, Massachusetts. The Skyhawks, of course.
Yeah. 22 miles south of Boston.
I was just going to say, about 20 miles south of Boston.
What conference does Stonehill College play in?
They play in the Eastern Seaboard Athletic Conference. It's called the ESAC.
That would be incorrect.
They play in the Maine Community College Penal Conference.
That would be incorrect.
No, I don't know. What is it?
It is the NEC, the Northeastern Conference.
Look at Tyler. Tyler's killing it.
Yeah.
Tyler's doing really well over there in the chat, okay? In the NEC, the vaunted. Yeah, the vaunted NEC.
Yeah.
With other great programs like Maine A&M.
No, I believe Fairleigh Dickinson is in.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Fairleigh Dickinson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fake Bob Vanderplatt says ISU has more students in the business school than this college has total students.
Is that a true statement? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I would probably assume that. I didn't look up the student enrollment of Stonehill College. Now, nothing against Stonehill College.
I still don't want to look it up, so I'm not going to do any Googling yet.
I'm done with my trivia questions. All I'm saying is this is who the Cyclones are playing tonight, and the fact that we know nothing about Stonehill. I actually thought it was like a Division II school. When I saw that they were like in the NEC, I was like, oh, I've never heard of Stonehill College.
And listen, this is not a knock on Iowa State, because you could do the same thing with teams Iowa's played in football.
New Albany.
Yeah, New Albany. Yeah, so and I'm with you. I wouldn't have guessed that to be, I mean, I don't know anything about Robert Morris either.
He's a founding father.
Well, I know something about him. I meant
the university. I think it's is it in Pittsburgh?
Dude, again, Poughkeepsie. Surprised you didn't know that.
Poughkeepsie. Yeah. So Cyclones play the Skyhawks tonight. It will be a win. So enjoy it. There were 11,000 people at the game Friday night at Carver Hawkeye. Good to see fans showing up. And that's all you got to do is win, create excitement, create a buzz, and people go, oh, this is where I want to be.
That's it,
This
Travis.
is where I want to be.
That's it. Make it exciting, and people will, and they'll be showing up. And it is. This Hawkeye basketball team is exciting. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch basketball on both sides of the court. Really tough defense, exciting offense, ball movement. It is so cool to see that Bennett Sturts is the real deal. Like, we knew that watching him with Drake last year, getting into the tournament, watching them play against was it A&M that they played down there?
It was Texas Tech, wasn't it?
Texas Tech that they played at in Wichita.
Yeah.
And dude, you watched that game and went, these guys are big time. Bennett Sturts is a leader. He's a floor general. And when he is out there on the court, the ball just seems to have a string on it, man. They're moving the ball around. It's a lot of fun to see. They can play above the rim. They play fundamental basketball, and they play really, really aggressive, tough defense. It's fun to see.
The Iowa women beat Northern Iowa yesterday 74-41. They held the Panthers to 22% field goal shooting, 19% from the three-point line. 17 of their points came off of 18 turnovers. It's going to get real for the Hawkeyes next. They play Baylor in Orlando. Baylor ranked number 7 in the country, so that will be a test where we really see where this Iowa women's basketball team is. Though I don't care how bad of a team you play, there are some certain stats that just make you go, wow, that's pretty darn impressive. Iowa State beat Norfolk State yesterday in women's basketball, 98-52. What's impressive, Ross, Abby Brown had a triple-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Audie Crooks had a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And Allison Williams had a double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds. One player with a triple-double, 2 players with double-doubles. I don't care how bad of a team you're playing, to have that much action out of 3 players. And plus, their bench did pretty good, too. Yeah. That's impressive. You get that kind of consistency right there.
Yeah, Travis, the thing we've talked about if you're going to be a good team, you gotta do this to bad teams. You have to have games like that where it's a no-brainer. You go out and just dominate. Fun to see. And Audie continues to be a force, to say the least. So fun to see. I'm sure that's what Coach Fennelly was hoping to get from the box score at the end of that game. More than a W, because getting a W wouldn't have been enough. It's the way that you win games like that. And the same thing, by the way, for that Hawkeye women's basketball team beating UNI that way. Don't take a lot away from it if you're a Panther fan. It's more that, man, the Hawkeyes are a really good basketball team, and that's what you've got to do. If you're going to be a really good basketball team, you got to show that separation in class. So good on Iowa and Iowa State to get those W's like that.
The Drake men are going to be on the road tonight. They're at the College of Charleston. God, they lost at home last week again. And Hendo's a great dude, and I want to believe he's going to have success. Just Drake fans aren't used to this, right? I mean, you're used to. I mean, they've been spoiled for a long time of having teams that come out of the chute and are successful. They look promising. There's just this learning curve, and when you have as much turnover as Drake has had. But losing to SIU Edwardsville, you're
SIU, yeah. I mean, Travis, I think you're right, man. You gotta give him a little bit of grace here because they did have to turn over a lot. He had to bring in a whole new group of guys. And expectations are really high. Expectations are probably. Man, I want to be careful.
Are they inflated because of the recent history?
Absolutely, because of what Drake fans have seen the last couple of years. That's what you're hoping to see again. And I don't think that's crazy. I don't think it's nuts to say, wait a minute, we've been good. We don't want to take steps backwards. There's no room for that in this landscape. The Valley is a one bid league, unfortunately. There's no room for give. You got to stay at the top of that league. And losing games like that early on doesn't mean that you're not there. It just should be a little bit of a wake-up call as to what needs to happen here. So, yeah, that's got to hurt for Drake fans.
Speaking of Drake, congratulations to Joe Woodley and the Drake Bulldogs. They went on the road, got a win at Dayton this past weekend. They're home this week again, and we'll try to get Joe on later on this week because they win this week. They win the Pioneer League, and they're off to the FCS playoffs. That's impressive.
Very cool.
So they got one loss in the league. Everybody else has two. They didn't play Presbyterian this year. Presbyterian is the other team that is kind of knocking on the door. I don't know what the tiebreaker is there. But, yeah, the Bulldogs just one win away from a league championship and a playoff spot. So we're going to be talking about playoffs maybe with one local team. Never thought it would be Drake, but there you go. There you go. Did you watch any NFL yesterday? You get any NFL action?
Well, yeah. Yesterday morning, I kind of forgot that they had that game going in Madrid.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, when I woke up yesterday morning and I'm flipping on, I thought, what in the hell is NFL doing on? And turned it on just in time to see the very first field goal go through, and they're like, the first point scored in Madrid. That was it. I didn't really pay attention to the game much. So no.
Crazy thing is the Chiefs and Broncos played yesterday. Bo Nix did a great job getting Denver in field goal position. Denver beats Kansas City, and this is how things cycle in the NFL. Kansas City may not make the playoffs. I mean, right now, not a playoff team.
I did watch the end of the Vikings-Bears game as well. That was the
Bears in first place.
Caleb Williams is him.
Bears in first place. And then Brock Purdy had a good game yesterday. He had 3 touchdown passes, 2 to George Kittle. It's been a tough year for Brock Purdy, just injury-wise. A lot of people were thinking, well, is there quarterback controversy in San Francisco? I think he solved that yesterday. The thing is, he didn't throw a pick yesterday, which was good. But very effective, 3 touchdown passes, and, again, 2 to George Kittle. So, yeah, just some fun games. I watched a lot of that Chiefs-Broncos game yesterday. I'm still not a Broncos believer. I think they improved to 9-2, and I'm like, okay, you're good. Do you ever get that feeling about teams, Ross, when you're like, how are you still winning? Like, you watch them, you're like, we know you're good, but you just don't seem great. I look at the Broncos as a team that could, lose their first playoff, win the division, but yet lose their first playoff game because I'm not sold that they're that great of a football team.
Man, I'm bad I feel like in the NFL, I'm bad with this.
And to me, it just comes down to your gut. It's just total gut. We're you just squeak by. But
so
you know
in
what?
that vein, how good are the Patriots?
It's a good question.
They're 9-2. They've had a hell of a season.
I don't know if I haven't watched enough of the Patriots this year. Probably watched more Chiefs. Probably watched more Broncos. Watched the Steelers, where Aaron Rodgers maybe broke his wrist yesterday. A slight fracture on his
fractured his wrist.
Yeah, on his non-throwing hand. But yeah. So, what do you got planned today, man? You doing anything?
Well, Audrey's not feeling well this morning, so my day just got thrown into a little bit of a loop. I got some real estate stuff to try to knock out today. Had some buyers that want to go look at some places, so have to figure some things out. But yeah, Audrey woke up, her throat was kind of sore, so I tried to get her some stuff for that, but she doesn't have her sparkle today, so we'll let her stay home. So it'll be.
I think that's going around though, Ross, because like on Friday, my throat was hurting me, and I've kind of had a just stuffed up, nasally, just
I've been
headache all weekend.
Today. That's funny to say that.
Yeah.
So we'll hang out here today. It'll be a good day. It'll be able to get some stuff done around the house, do some laundry, things that have to be done.
Daddy, can I have some ice cream? And then you'll go, okay, let's go get it.
I have a hard time saying no to her on a lot of things, so that very well could happen. What do you want for lunch today? Can I have ice cream? Of course you can, baby. Of course you can.
Did I tell you Greta got home last Friday?
Oh, so nice. I've been home for a while now.
Home till like January 4th, January 5th.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's we were just getting used to be empty nesters, and now it's kind of like, oh, you're back. Okay. It's good.
I've seen this thing lately, Trav, that it's become like a huge percentage of college graduates are moving back in with their parents. Just because of the cost of rent and life is insane right now. Trying to find a good job that can actually pay those bills and keep you independent is rare. But I've seen I've seen some stats about it's incredible how many high school and college graduates are just living back with mom and dad because life is really, really, really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, now she's back just because she's on break. She's going to leave again, but. When she's done, when Abby graduated from college, she moved back in for a little bit, but then
I don't remember that.
She got a job here in Omaha, and I said, why don't you just live with us, save as much money as you can, and then when you're ready to get. But she was gone within a year. I mean, she got that job at Ole Miss, and now she's a homeowner, and everything's all right in the world. I did think about you over the weekend. Pittsburgh, by the way, has the lowest median house purchase. They're like below $250,000 for a new house. So I was like, we were just talking about that. So made me think of you.
Yep, it's tough for first-time home buyers. Not impossible, but tough.
All right, folks, we appreciate you listening. Don't forget, if you want to rock her world, go to therushradio.com, click on the promotions tab, give us your stories. We're going to be reading stories all week long. For your chance to win a real gemstone, a 7-carat blue topaz from Fiscus Jewelers. It's valued at $400. And don't forget about their trunk show coming up this Saturday. Tell a friend about the show. Subscribe to the channel. And we will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. with another edition of the Rush Radio Show, powered by our good friends at Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and this November, we're starting early. We are starting our December to Remember sales event today. First off, I want to highlight a special lease on 2026 NX Gas. It's $409 per month with $49.99 due at signing. Or you can take advantage of rates as low as 2.49 for 48 months or 3.49 for 60 months on IS model, all ES models, NX Gas, RX Gas, and TX Gas, and as an added bonus on 2026 RX Gas, NX, and TX Gas models. I invite you to stop in and take the new Lexus for a test drive, or visit us online at willislexus.com where you'll find some special offers.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.